myself. I get high, I get low, there's nothing else. I met an old man back in the day. He said, "Woo, you're gonna be a wise woman one day. The only way that this will ever come true is continuing to make all."
Hi, we're here with Rena and friends and family, but Rena's not here. So we wish you well, Rena, because I heard she's a little under the weather.
Yes, she is.
And I'd rather her take care of that. But she sent you, MeLiSSa, and ShaRoN. So how are you guys?
I think we're good. Yeah. We're the ambassadors today.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
So like, what Rena was saying is you guys were raised, you're like children of wild parents.
Yes.
My parents weren't wild though. They were just
What were they?
successful club owners.
They were successful.
Okay, so you were children of club owners. I never knew that your parents were club owners. What clubs?
My
Really? I never knew that. And
the MaRcH Art Center and the Cat Club.
the cat club?
Yes,
I
I know,
used to
I
go to
know.
the cat club all the frickin' time. I mean, I had one of my best New Year's Eves ever in my whole life at the cat club.
Here you go.
Wow, I never knew that. Did you grow up in the cat club?
I'm older than that. I was working at the Village Gate, and my father opened the Cat Club originally as a theater, and then he brought in Pat Kenny as a partner, and then they parted ways. But the Cat Club always had the liquor license was under my dad's name, so we always were part of it, even when they parted ways. We were still part of it. So.
See, the Village Gate was such a different. That was like a classy place.
I love about that.
But it had theater, and
theater
my
and
mother
comedy,
used to bring
yes.
me there, like to.
Well, we had rock, and we had some.
That was
Yeah.
yeah, I know, but
Her dad worked there, so that's how.
yes. So is that how you guys knew each other?
No,
Well,
I knew
no.
her dad. I knew her dad from when I was a young teenager.
From the Village Gate.
Yes.
So wait, so your fathers were partners there?
No.
No. My mother and father, who were crazy, yes, hers.
But I know the
Her-
UK and the nursery.
her
That is
parents-
the craziest
Her
of the whole
parents just
thing.
happened to own the clubs. My parents were nuts. But when
Okay.
my mother and father separated, they had Rock Bottom, which is a club on 8th Street.
Which is such a great name.
So my
Oh,
mother
God.
goes and opens up the nursery, and my dad goes to work with her dad. But we never knew each other. We just met
No. We met
like just a few months ago.
but I knew Rena from the nursery.
She knew
and
my
I
parents.
knew her dad. Her dad since I was 15.
I never knew any
We
of
worked together.
Wow.
We're all club people, so eventually you work with everybody.
I mean, I never. But you're the kids of club people. So do you
Yes.
think it influenced your life growing
We
up?
worked there.
Like, did
we
you
were
think-
just talking about the fact that these were family-owned businesses. So this was not just. You don't see that much anymore. Everything's corporate now. It's very rare to see a family-run business. And she was telling me how she knew everybody in the neighborhood whose parents owned a bakery and this restaurant, and my family owned this club, and her family.
So where'd you go to school?
I went to. I lived uptown. I went to PS 166, and I went to Bank Street, and then I went to boarding school,
Which boarding school?
Oakwood.
Where's that?
It's upstate in the Hudson Valley.
Because I went to Choate for like this long. I mean, that's so like I hear boarding
No, I
school.
didn't hear about, so yeah.
I like wrote a song about my boarding school
Yeah.
experience.
And they sent me away because I wasn't going to school.
Right,
Out
right.
in Washington Square Park in the 70s, and they're like, maybe if we send her to school, she'll
Wow.
stay there.
Wow. So then you were old enough at that time to hang out in the clubs, and you weren't here.
Well, I left school a year early, and I did my GED, and I started working at my dad's club,
Which one?
the Village
The Village
Gate. And I
Gate.
also worked at Circus Magazine when I was like in the 70s.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had a.
Wow. And your mother had Trudy Hellers. Do you remember that?
Well, my mom managed Trudy Hellers.
Okay.
And then when she married my dad, Trudy didn't like the fact they were married. Fired both of them because my dad came. Yeah. Yes, this is true. It was at a gay bar during the day and then a rock club at night. And my dad came as part of the British invasion, and that's how they met. And for whatever reason, Trudy.
So
did
that's
not
why
like
he opened the UK.
Well, he opened the UK across the street from my mother in direct competition.
To the nursery.
Yes, this is a very
I
funny
remember
story.
the UK in the nursery.
My mother had that building and said, David, I'm giving you the building, you'll have a business, open something up, but just don't open a competition with me. And he did.
I went to both clubs.
Me too, because who didn't at those hours? Those were
I worked all night at my dad's club, so I was straight at 4 or 5 in the morning. I was going out for the first time.
right, and those were the clubs that were open,
Right.
except for Neither Nor. Remember that one?
I remember late again.
Oh my God!
Oh, lady, and then that's Pauline, who was a manager for my mother,
Right.
who stole the and opened up that with her boyfriend.
Wow.
We will never forget that. As a matter of fact, she left me destitute in London one time because we went to visit my dad's family and her family, and she just left my brother and I in the middle of London, took the money and everything.
Wow!
Came back and took
Was
my
she
mom's
chaperoning you?
She was chaperoning us and left us in the middle of London. I was 16 and my brother was like 7. And so she opened up her club with my mother's payroll. Just disappeared one day, and that was, oh yeah.
So
that was
how
not
did
going
they
well.
not find her?
Well, my mother just let it go. She says, oh, you know, she's a good employee, and she says, I'm not gonna, you know, she says, I have an after hours. What am I gonna do? Press charges?
Wow!
My mother was a very giving person, and she just said, you know what? She would have said, I would have rather she just come to me. She said, I would have been totally fine with her opening a place. You know, everybody
Wow.
branches off, but she let it go, as far as I
So
know.
did you have any favorite artists or nights at the Village Gate that stand
Oh,
out to
God.
you?
You're talking 40 years of.
This is a woman who was on the lap of Nina Simone. I'm drooling that she told me this.
Ah.
She's my godmother. Yeah. I just
Oh,
did
wow.
an interview for the movie.
What movie for her?
They're doing a documentary, and they've asked for my baby movies.
Aww. Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Wow. And so that was obviously.
I don't. And that was. I'll tell you, early.
Yeah. Do you remember any of the when you were a little older?
Yeah, sure. And I also went to Montreux as a child, so I did see a lot of great ones.
So is there any
Theater.
standout?
Lemmings, which was with John Belushi and Chevy Chase, and what's his name? Christopher Guest. And that was a show that was a precursor for Saturday Night Live.
Wow. And it started at the Village Gate.
And it was a parody of Woodstock,
Yes.
right?
Wow.
The
So
show was skits, and the second half was the Woodstock parody.
Was that, yeah.
And I was 12 years old, so I used to sit and watch it again and again and again.
Well, because we didn't have what we have today, where you can watch it again and again and again on your
Well,
television. You got to see it
Yeah,
live.
After, yeah. I
Wow.
used to steal the roaches out of the dressing room.
Oh, that was smart. John Belushi. I mean, I'm sure it was good weed. Exactly. Wow.
And John Belushi was a customer at the nursery.
And I used to hang out with him.
Did you really?
I
Oh,
did.
he loved my mother.
And my dad too. He used to go to the bathhouse on 10th Street with my dad.
No, really? Oh, you know,
I know he loved your mom because.
well, he used to hang out after work and just hang out with my mom and keep her company while she was setting up. Like she just loved her. I mean, it was like a mother figure.
I'm sure he
or
was a
something.
lovable guy, too.
He was very well.
A couple of weeks ago was either his birthday or he passed away on that day. We celebrated John Belushi. He was. I mean, you could just tell. You know?
He was very nice, very sweet. Sometimes I thought he was kind of lonely, though.
Of
Right?
course.
You know, I just.
The comedian.
Well, yes,
Her
we were just talking.
Her dad is a comedian, and he is one of the funniest people you'll ever meet. And you know, on the other side of being funny,
Right.
it comes with its own bag of
Tricks.
Oh yeah, we were saying how that because I was telling her, you know, my dad was kind of crazy. She's well, he was a comedian, of course he was, and like he would wake us up in the middle of the night, 2 and 3 in the morning, and say, "I have a new joke. Yeah, listen." You know, he'd get my brother, my mother, and I, and just, oh, what do you think? What do you think? I'm like, "That's great, Dad." And he goes, "No. What did you think? I mean, what did I do?" And I'm like, "God, it's 2 in the morning, Dad.
Yeah.
Like, it's great. And I go to bed. I got school, you know."
He's still doing it, right?
Yes, he's still doing it.
So what's his name?
David Heenan.
And where is he doing it?
Well, yes, he started out as David Copperfield, and then
The magician came along.
yes, that's right, got very upset, and so he went back to his name, David Heenan, and he still works on the cruise ships. He works on Princess and Norwegian.
Wow.
Yes.
He's
Wow.
probably one of the funniest. What you were saying about Dangerfield, he wrote a
Yeah, he wrote for Dangerfield.
Oh, wow.
He started out, like I said, in the British invasion. And this was the funny thing is I
So
was
was he the one saying I got no respect?
Yes.
yeah.
He wrote that?
Well, my dad was always like, oh, man, is this on? Is this on? And they listen to me. Oh, I swear, I get no respect. My kids, they don't listen to me.
Wow.
And he was a musician. He was a singer. And I was telling ShaRoN just now that he was with the Arrows, but not.
Not Alan Merrill's era.
But there was an Irish Arrows that came over, and they wanted to come over with the British invasion. My dad was the only one who was English, so they would push my dad in the front to be a part of. But my dad didn't like singing. It was really, my mom was like, "Well, you're always cracking jokes. Just go and come." No, I can't do that. So she wrote his first.
Wow.
And then he wound up with Dangerfield. And Dangerfield liked his stuff so much, he hired him to book his room, do an MC, and
That's what he did at the gate too. He ran the comedy shows upstairs and he booked the comedy acts. And he was out front gates working. So I worked with him all the time.
So what do you think about today's scene?
I feel sorry for kids today.
Really?
They don't get to, we
It's
got
so
to see
different,
shows.
right?
It's like doable. And we were like, what, 18?
Yeah.
And
We
you could
didn't
go.
need fake ID. Well, we had fake ID when we were 15, so like
But nobody asked for
it wasn't like it
You
is
got
today.
your fake ID
It
in
was
Times Square, and then you never had to take it out.
But yeah, it was just like insane, right? I mean, kids today, it's so different, right? So what do you think about kids trying to, I know you have children that are so talented,
Yes.
and how are they doing? I know, I love your children.
I think she was at a record deal.
Alice?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You've seen her.
I have. I love her. She's like the sweetest girl on earth. She is one of really a doll. I mean, that's congratulations.
I just think it's first of all you got to be 21 and this thing. And,
Oh, I
and
know.
I don't get it.
I know. I hear about it when my kids come
It's
home. They talk about
horrible.
the bottle service. It's like, what is that? It's
The
crazy.
city is not for New Yorkers. It's for people that come
Tourists.
here. It's not the same city where you can just, you know, like my dad. It was important for my dad to have a club where anybody could come in and not enjoy music and afford it. You know?
Right.
And it wasn't just for rich people.
Right. It was
So
for
kids
all
lacking
people.
here. It's really
Well, that's why we still love Oz. Oz is like old school.
Yeah.
It really is. And I don't know if what you would think of kids because you don't have. Are you in the arts? So like.
I have
Or do
kids,
they-
but they didn't go into the arts.
Right.
And
I know.
I do writing, but I'm not.
And she reminds me of Sandra Bullock in like some movie. I don't know which one, like Lieutenant Benjamin, but played by Sandra Bullock. I mean,
When I was a kid, they used to call me Marilyn because they said I lived in the house of the Munsters.
you are like Marilyn.
So all my friends used to say, "Oh,
That
it's Marilyn." you
That's
know?
perfect. And Fred Gwynn lived on my road. My brother's
Really?
babysat for him. For his kids. I always wanted to, but I wasn't old enough. And like I used to lie and say I babysat for Fred. Just like the mustard. They needed Marilyn there. I know. They had like cobwebs everywhere. The kids, they had pug dogs, but they were the nicest people. And I always wanted to baby. Could I know? But you are like Marilyn. Wow, that's funny.
I'm just surprised we didn't know each other. But I was.
And I worked
the
in the
nursery.
nursery.
You
so
only
I don't
went to
know.
the nursery.
Not like Marilyn.
You don't remember the nursery, really. I mean, I remember going.
Of course I do.
Yeah, but do you remember the nights?
Sure.
You do?
I do, and the UK club.
I remember the places, but I mean, those were nights.
No, I
that
do
you would-
remember.
You remember everything that happened? I can't believe how big that one is. Oh my gosh.
Well, don't forget, ShaRoN had already worked all night. So by the time she got out to the nursery,
Oh, you
she
weren't wrecked up.
she was, and I was working there. So I mean, we had to have passed.
Because you were too young to. I mean, I started birthday, so we both started at Coach. Because that's where you.
So you're parallel lines.
Yes,
It's kind of nice. So now you know each other.
Now we know each other.
I guess.
at the.
Our bar. We was.
No, I met you. The first time I met you was here at the Max's.
Oh, great. Okay. Yes. So that's
That's
yeah.
a movie.
Yes.
Because then they could go into history. That'd be so cool.
Well, I think she should write about her parents. It's very interesting.
Yeah, you can go back to each, because I mean,
Yeah.
the setup, a show like this, talk, and then you go back to different things, your father, your experiences, and you bring it back to here, and then go back. I mean, it's very entertaining. I was
So
sitting
maybe
here
you're gonna write it. This is who.
I could write a tribute. Yeah.
Well, you
There
could
you
do.
go.
We would love that.
That might
Well,
happen.
the funny thing is that I learned so much from ShaRoN, like about my parents. That
Well,
I
of
didn't.
course.
Well, sure, yeah.
I didn't know. I mean, like
You see
I I went to the Village Gate occasionally for a show with my folks, but I didn't realize, after
Behind
my
the
mom and
scenes.
dad separated, it was pretty ugly. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw your dad a lot because we worked together and she didn't see him so much.
Wow. That's cool. Well, it is National Spinach Day, I'd like to tell you, and we would love to share some spinach tips with you guys if you want to share a little skeleton from your closet.
ShaRoN, all yours.
You start. I have to think about it.
A little quick one.
Skeleton. Well, we had Nick Nolte one time in the bar, and it's not necessarily a skeleton, but I think it's. My mother was one of these few people that was very politically active, and at the time they were having the boycott of Russia, so my mother would not allow any Russian vodka in the bar.
Ah.
Which was like in those days, if you didn't have Stolichnaya, it was just, it was vodka. So Nick Nolte comes in, and all the staff says it's 48 hours with Nick Nolte, because he basically took out the whole staff, and they all disappeared for like 2 days.
Wow.
But he comes in, and he's a vodka drinker. And he tells me, he wants his, Stolichnaya. And I said, I'm sorry, we don't have Stolichnaya. And he goes, well, what kind of bar is this? How could you not have Stolichnaya? And I'm like, well, they're boycotting Russian products. And he's looking at me, what? You're an after hours. I said, well, they're socially conscious here. What can I say? And I said, but we do have this potato vodka from Pennsylvania. Because my mother went on this wild goose chase to find a vodka. She's going to all these different places. And she finds this potato vodka that's like 100 and something odd proof. It's like insane. So I'll try it. I'm like, okay. So I give him, he just wants a shot straight up. And he downs this vodka. And oh my God, I thought I killed Nick Nolte. Because I guess it was so strong, his face turned blue, purple, and he's just like, and he's like pounding his chest, and his foot's going, and I'm panicked. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna kill this man. This guy's gonna die. It's like, and I'm like calling him, the bartender, come over here. And it just seemed like, it probably was only like 5 or 6 seconds, but it felt like an eternity that he couldn't get his breath. And so after he finally goes, did he not?
And then he's like, give me another.
Yes! And I'm like, what? So and then he disappeared to the VIP room, because my mother had this VIP room, and I literally did not see him or most of the staff for like 2 days. It was myself and another bartender that basically ran the club for 2 days while everybody just disappeared.
Wow.
Your turn.
That's what it is. Oh, just some ever like jump a turnstile? Did you ever get a ticket? Did you ever get arrested?
I could give you my John Belushi story.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I have a couple. I knew him pretty well, and I was in a group called Rockers. We used to do dance stuff, and I would bump into him places like the UK Club or the nursery, and he knew me because he knew my dad, and I was kind of a young dancer, He offered me and my friend a whole bunch of money to come to his hotel room, put on cheerleader outfits, and dance on a glass table while he was under it.
Whoa, with or without underwear?
No, a cheerleading outfit. But we said no, but we did steal his limo. And took it all out. We went with him, and then he went into a hotel room, and his driver said he's not going to come out. So we took his limo to all these clubs, and me and my friend, and we never did dress up as cheerleaders on the glass table. We said no, thank you.
Oh.
This is not long after he was dead.
Oh, that
But
actually.
you
I
know,
always smile. It's
But
so
in the
randomly
movie,
weird.
you don't get to the point where that would be asked, and then you'd see them go into the room. But then you'd lose that imagination.
See, he's already writing this movie.
Well,
Yeah.
I know.
Well, I
Would
get
you
to
like to
watch
push a button?
I was like,
I get to watch
Push a
this
button.
now. This will be great. Yep.
That's good.
That's the movie. So, do you guys have websites or anything that you want people to check out? Your mom's?
I have a Remember the Village Gate Facebook page that she likes.
Okay.
I put a lot of ads and pictures from the Village Gate from for 40
I
years.
never knew you were connected to the Village Gate. I never
Oh, I
knew
worked
that.
there.
I know you for a long time, but I never even knew that. And
yeah, and I worked in clubs. Well, I worked in film. I think you probably know that. But
and Arlene's.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's because I was working clubs my whole life.
Right.
They hired me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never knew that. You
That
had
was the reason I
such
worked.
big history with that.
Oh yeah.
Wow, I was just a patron.
And
I was the kind of patron that didn't remember my nights at the UK and the nursery, but I remember those places.
But we're very appreciative that you're a patron.
And then my ex-husband was in a band with Moose, who was the
Doorman
The
for my
doorman.
mom. I mean, there's like about 6
Yeah, so
degrees. We're like 6
We're
degrees.
very
that.
connected. I love Moose.
Yeah.
That's
Very
awesome.
Moose was like my mentor. Yes, he definitely kept me out of trouble. Him and Big Mike. Yes.
Do you have a
Page.
website?
Well, we do have a nursery page, and so you can go right on Facebook and you can see the nursery. And my mother has a book. It's called Gehenna, which is a fictionalized account of some of her time in the 60s and 70s.
What's the Facebook page called? Just
Just the nursery.
And
It's
mine,
just the nursery.
and mine is called Remember the Village Gate.
Remember the Village Gate and the nursery and Gehenna.
Gehenna. Yes, that's what you want to
And we'll come back. We'll come back again when Rita's
Yes.
feeling better, and that would be fun. So I have to thank a big thank you to Caroline Stewart, yay, always, and Juan, Mr. Cameraman, and we got to thank Hoop, our lovely Who of the day, and Stargroves, Kevin Davis with Lucifer's Bride. Wait, what does it rhyme with? Cama Linden, Charlie Demos, Theodore Belukis, Adam, your son, and ShaRoN and MeLiSSa, the children of the real New York City, of what clubs.
We're Club Royalty.
Yeah, club royalty. Absolutely.
I like
And
that.
Otto Shrunken Head, we always love you. We will see you next week. Thanks so much. Goodbye, MaRcH. Yeah, next week is April.
Mistakes that you do, oh yeah. All those mistakes that you do. I turned to him and said, I make a lot of mistakes, so please make you not be one of them. I get so strong when you disappear, then you reappear and I crumble again, yeah.
Keeping it real, keeping it real.
You must be an angel watching over me, 'cause I'd be gone, so gone, so gone. It's plain to see.